Hi there, my name is Kai McCormick. I will be doing my presentation performance over the aria Vedro Con Mio Diletto from Vivaldi's opera Il Giustino, which is an opera that was created in 1764. It is really unique, actually. Apparently, it's considered one of the easier operas of his to kind of conceptually understand. It's kind of more well put together. And so the opera is set in 6th century Byzantine Empire, and it's about the rise and kind of the rise up of Justin the First. So El Justino, Justin the First. It's the opera is about his rise of power, and there are quite a few characters in it. But this particular opera is over a character who is reminiscing and reflecting kind of about their love life the day before they go into battle. It's a very kind of an empowering aria. It's a typical aria. It's da capo, ABBA form. So you run through the A section, the B section, another iteration of the B section is pretty much similar, and then it repeats back to the A section and ends at the end section. But like most arias, it showcases kind of their prowess in vocal technique. So yeah, this aria in particular is about a character. Let's see if I wrote it down. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. Uh, oh, I guess I didn't write down the name of the character. But yeah, so it's a reflection on kind of their lost love. They're probably going to pass away in the battle. It's a big one, and so it's when you hear the music, there's kind of the accompaniment starts off bong dong 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 bong bong gong. It's really kind of dramatic. I love the intro. It immediately grips the audience, but it's very light. This aria is usually sung by a mezzo soprano. There's a review. With Seike Gang's rendition is a mezzo soprano. So in the actual opera, it's sung by a mezzo soprano. However, this piece I believe has actually been made more famous by countertenors. The two in particular I think of a lot are Philippe Jaruski, French countertenor, and then there's Joseph Wolinski, who's the Polish countertenor, kind of counterpart to him. Phenomenal performances, and I think they've really made it impactful. So yeah, usually mezzo soprano countertenors have kind of run away with it, and so yeah, it's in Act Two later on. I think like Act Two, Scene 8, where this aria kind of comes up, and so the setting is, yeah, just kind of again long lost love, going into battle, probably never going to see them again, and the accompaniment sets off for a really dramatic work. Unfortunately, you won't hear accompaniment; you'll just hear the solo. But I'd like to do kind of some justice, but I want to talk a little bit about Vivaldi. So Vivaldi was a prolific Baroque composer. We talked about some other Baroque composers, but he really was huge, especially when it comes to the concerti. He wrote several, like hundreds of pieces, literally hundreds of pieces for instrumental concertos. It says nearly 500 are surviving, 300 of them being specifically instrumental solos with continued accompaniment. Um, and so, yeah, he was very prolific there. He wrote a lot of secular music, or excuse me, sacred choral music. In fact, he actually got his start as a priest. He was known as the Red Priest because his fiery red hair. So yeah, he was known as the Red Priest. That's kind of how he got his start. Moved on to like composition, writing the concerti, and then wrote sacred choral music for motets. I mean, a lot of like solo vocal with accompaniment. He wrote some like duos and trios with basso continuo kind of thing. And then he moved on to like a kind of a secular way, which wasn't received all that well, especially in the last century or two. Like it just wasn't perceived all that well. It wasn't as substantial as some of his other stuff. His most famous one we all know are the Four Seasons. That's kind of his most famous instrumental work. However, I think this aria is really fantastic. It's really beautiful and it stands alone very well by itself. Let's see. He was born 1678 to Giovanni Battista, who was a renowned violinist, probably taught, like most composers, probably taught his own son. Um, let's see here. Vivaldi was really known to perfect the form of the classical three-movement concerto, as well as be the first one to regularly use the ritornello form. That was said on the Britannica website. Choral works ranging 20th century substantial. Yeah, so violin concertos also, he's huge. I mean, violinists know him very well. So yeah, that's a little bit about Vivaldi, a little bit about the piece, and so I won't be able to play the piece as well as the singers sing, but I would like to try my best. I do want to give you a brief a synopsis of the lyrics. So Vedro Con Mio Diletto is I will see with my beloved. L'alma dell'alma mia dell'alma mia. So the alma of my alma, the core of my heart, full of contentment, I will see with my beloved. And that's this. I will see with my beloved starts the second. The alma of my alma, the heart of this heart, full of contentment. So it's very repetitive. Again, just kind of like racking your brain and racking your heart. I'm never going to see my love again. And if from the dear object, this is the kind of the second B section, where the lyrics change. And if from the dear object, far be it convenient it should be, I will sigh with pain every moment. I will see with my beloved, the alma of my alma, the core of my heart, full of contentment. I will see with my beloved, the alma of my alma, the heart of this heart, full of contentment, So very, very dramatic. So anyway, I hope you enjoy this rendition.